This is Big Bass Life.
You are really dumb. For real.
Polyandry is the practice of one woman having multiple husbands, but those husbands cannot have any other partners.
What?
Let me reintroduce myself, my husband, and my boyfriend.
Damn!
You know, you were the first man I let my partner, Kim, be with.
You're okay with her sleeping with other men?
Most of the time.
You can do it!
And how you gonna juggle 3 guys like that?
Nice. This is Big Bass Life with another informative video. We're dealing with women claiming 2 husbands. So that means you got 2 fishing poles in 1 pond. And we're talking about the institution of marriage, right? The institution of marriage is usually 1 man, 1 woman. But women are getting to the point where they're not dealing with real men. You're dealing with simp behavior. You're dealing with people who are less than men. These men are not, you know, they don't have any spiritual upbringing or spiritual background. Let's not even say spiritual. Let's say religious background. Because a lot of us as blacks, as black men or men in general, we grew up, you know, kind of very conservative men. You know what I'm saying? We're very, very conservative. You know, we are, you know, the institution of marriage, kids, children, protection of the woman, you know, providing for our woman. But now you have women today that really are sexually dysfunctional. And a lot of these women, believe it or not, they've grown up using a lot of, watching a lot of porn, you know, using toys.
You hear that?
Factor Uncensored, thank you for joining us for the second half of The Factor tonight. We're diving into the very fascinating world of polyamory, which we've done here before on The Factor. You may have seen a lot of relationships where men have had multiple women on their arms. My next guests are flipping the switch a bit. Now, Kenya K. Stevens is at the center of her relationship. You're looking at him there. Family portrait. Look at God. She's married to 2 men, Tiger and Carl, and they will be sharing part of their lives on TLC's new series, Seeking Brother Husband. They join me now in the studio, and of course the premiere will be this Sunday. So explain to me what's going on here. Obviously these 2 ain't getting together. It's just you and you, and that's it.
Yes, they call this a poly V. So I'm in the center, and I'm with my husband Carl. We've been together almost 30 years, and my husband Tiger and I have been together almost 10 years.
So when you say husband, though, is that allowed? Is that allowed under the law, or are you talking about spiritual husband one, legal husband the other?
Yes.
How does that work?
This is my legal husband, and we added this husband by having a spiritual connection ceremony.
Okay. And so how did you guys come to this situation?
Well,
yeah, I mean, it's kind of complicated, but we had genuine feelings for other people, and Kenya and I talked about, like, hey, I'm feeling some feelings of love for someone. She had the same thing. We talked about it. We said, well, why don't we actually explore this and see where it leads? And that's how we got into it.
Yeah.
And how did you open your mind, though, as a husband, as a man, to that?
Yeah, at first I was close to it. So when she brought to me that she wanted to date other men, and that she should be able to do that.
But she didn't say, I want to leave you. She just said, I want to date other men.
Just wanted to date. And at first I was close to that. Because I had never really heard, like, a married woman dating multiple men. Like, where does that come from? I've heard of polygyny, one man, many women.
Yeah, but he wanted to have other women. He had said that when we first got married. So I knew that that was one of his goals. And when it started to happen at year 12 of our marriage, I said, well, I would like to get in on that too, you know, because I think it's just fair is fair.
So year 12, what happened specifically so we can all follow you?
Yeah, he came home from work and just told me how he was having feelings for a woman at his job. And he was traveling a lot, and they were traveling together, and so he just was honest about his work wife.
And how do you bring that kind of honesty home?
We just talked about everything. I mean, when she had feelings for someone else, she brought it to me. We talked to our marriage counselors about it. Like we were surprised in monogamy that you actually had feelings for other people after marriage. We didn't know that you could fall in love or have attractions outside of marriage.
Right.
So it was a surprise to us. We were kind of innocent or naive, I guess.
And let's bring this guy into it. Go ahead.
Well, I met Tiger about 10 years ago. He was dressed as Tiger Woods on Halloween. And we had a nice dance, and I just fell immediately for him, and I had to just introduce him to the fact that I am married, and I introduced him to my husband, and just to see if, you know, he would be down to be a part of our union.
Yeah, needless to say, that was a shock for me, because
I was going to ask you,
being with a woman and finding out she's married, at first I'm like, no, she's tiptoeing, like she's sneaking around. And then I actually met Carl, and it was like, well, okay, this brother's, he's
But
on
did
the
that
level.
set your mind right? Are you saying, okay, this is a setup, I'm going to be robbed or something?
At first, when he walked through the door, yeah, I knew the fight was on. But he was very cordial. He introduced himself, shook my hand. I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
And so how did you wrap your mind around that? Because that's not what we expect in life.
It's not, and it took a while to wrap my mind around it. At one point, Kenya and I just kind of fell off, and then we got back together, and it was a little back and forth. And then I realized that, you know, the traditional way that I'd been dating, you know, what we call serial monogamy, where I would get with somebody and then find somebody else, I'd break up with this person, get with the next person. It just wasn't working. And so after seeing the connection that Carl and Kenya have, and discovering that, okay, with, you know, Carl's wisdom and, you know, ability to open up, there has to be something to this whole thing. And so I kind of, you know, entered into the fold and really grew as a person. And
and we have the tools and the technology. We run a love academy. We train couples all over the world in these technologies on how to do this lifestyle correctly and safely.
And so do you guys like have a calendar, or you like, okay, Kenya?
We do have a Google Calendar. We have a Google Calendar.
A Google Calendar.
Yeah, because they both have other partners. He has another wife. They both have other partners. He has another wife. They both have other partners. You know, they're in town off and on, and then I have other partners as well. And then I have other partners as well. So they have to have a calendar.
Keep up with all this. That's too much work. But you know what? It's like being, but you guys are honest, but it's like being a cheater out there.
Well,
but someone who is honest, and I know what's going on, here's what's going on, so we won't have that friction.
Yep, these men will never be surprised by somebody.
But my next question is, how do you explain it to family and friends who have closed minds? Tiger, let's begin with you.
That's a really difficult conversation. And it is a lot of work to try to get your family to wrap their minds around that. It's not an easy process, but that's where, you know, the Progressive Love Academy...
Did you have to say with some, okay, whatever, I'm moving on?
Yeah, you might have to say that with some. I personally have not had to say that with any of my family members, but, you know, for each couple, it's going to be a different story.
All right, Carl, how did you explain this to you? Obviously, they knew you and Kenya were married for years, and then all of a sudden, all of this is going on.
Yeah, I mean, my parents are traditional, so they don't believe in, like, the polyamory or any of that kind of stuff. But they understood us. They saw us over time, like, really working it out. And they saw the benefit of what we were doing, being honest, keeping the family together, you know, just really being good to each other. And over time, they kind of grew to accept it as our choice.
This ain't something new. It's something women are getting into. And a lot of these men are by their business or their bedroom business out there. But to come out in the open and do this, because men are territorial. I don't know what man would share his car. I'm going to share my car. I'm going to share my house. I'm going to share my woman. These are certain possessions that are off limits. And if they are not off limit, then it shows that you have a feminine quality. And that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with men with feminine qualities.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
This is Big Bad's Life with another informative video, man. You know, like, comment, subscribe. What do you think? You know, you gonna let your woman have another husband? Y'all gonna swing? Because this is more of a European thing. This is a European thing to swing. Black men, you know, the way we're raised, you know, and you know, we don't get down like that. Now, I used to watch a lot of porn, and the cuckold thing and the swinging thing, that's a white thing. You don't see too many brothers doing that. That's something we don't indulge in. But like, comment, subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. It's like, dudes, I can get like 500, 600, 1,000 views, more than that. Sometimes it's 3 and 4 and 10,000 views, and I get like 100 likes, 200 likes. Like the video. If you like the video, like it, share it, and I'll bid you an adieu. Have a good day.
I'll get you, bitch.